sorry, 10 years of experience. For 15 years of experience, my salary is 2K. 20 years of experience, my salary is 3K, 4K. Like that, we are able to get the data if you draw it in a scatter plot. So from this, what can I visualize is, from this, any observation. So whenever if there is an increase in an experience, there is a possibility of my salary is getting increased. So this looks like a line. This looks like a line. So we are going to use a line equation, y equal to mx plus ce, to represent this data. To represent this data, as of now, I consider only one variable, single independent variable. All dependent variable always one. So we are going to predict what should be. For example, my experience becomes 50. What should be my the salary? If I draw a curve, extend the curve, I think this may be my salary if I am in the year 25. So you all know what is called M is slope. So we need to find the slope of the line. That will help us to do. Right? This extra thing we can call it as bias. The bias, for example, if you start it here, even starting salary is 500. This we can call it as a bias. This we can call it as a bias. For example, y equal to 10x plus 5. What it means, every number one increment, every 1 years of experience increment, my salary is getting 10 times. For example, what is the in first year? 5. The second year it becomes 20, 25. The third year it becomes 30 plus 5, 35. The fourth year it becomes, sorry, first year 15, right? 15, 25, 30. So every year it is getting increased 10. So this is the basic mathematics. How this basic mathematics can be applied into the linear regression, we'll see. The next is, in this, for example, in this we are going to build our model. In this we are going to build our model. How if you build our model, for example, we have a data, assuming that we have a data like this. This is called experience. This is called salary, right? So for example, we have some data set. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 data are there. For all the 10 data, I marked this data points here, there, and there. Right. Once we find the straight line equation, the straight line may comes like this. The straight line may comes like this with coefficient and the bias, with slope and bias. Now, what is the issue is, our target in linear regression is we need to find the best line. What is called best line or best fitting line. People used to say best fitting line. What it means is, the line should traverse across all the input symbol. Then only our model is predict exactly the same as expected. Exactly the same as expected. So this is not a straight line, it's a curved line. This is not a straight line, it's a curved line. So what we need to do is, we need to adjust the straight line either or up or down, to reduce the difference between these two gaps. This is called residual. For example, my line is going to cross like this. My data point is here. This is called residual. This is called residual. So our target to be, we need to move the line here up, then to reduce this residual. Why we need to reduce the residual? To reduce the error rate. So whatever, there are so many ways. Normally they used to do R square at the root mean square error, mean absolute error. These are all the some of the factors which is used to find whether model is working perfectly or not. Using this factor only, they are analyzing our model is correct or not. We'll see. Now we'll move on to the PPT, then you will have some idea. You can quickly grasp what is the content in the PPT, then we will go to the then we will move on to the Python. Right. So the linear, the arranged in a extending on straight line, near straight line, which is called linear movement. What is called regression? Determining the relationship between more variable, two or more variable, where change in one variable is caused by change in other variable. As I said, change in the one variable experience will make an impact in the salary, The linear regression is the relationship between two variables where increase in one variable impact on another variable to increase or decrease. Either it may be increase or it may be decrease. This is called linear regression. I hope you understand what is the definition of linear regression, right? So all this I can skip. This is for detailed point to point, which may not be required as of now. I can skip. I can explain only the important points. So dependent variable, the value which we are predicting for, we can call it as dependent variable. Independent variable, the variable that we are going to using to predict a dependent variable for independent. To predict a dependent variable is called independent variable. For example, temperature is directly proportional to the number of ice cream purchased. If temperature increases, there is a possibility the number of ice cream purchased also going to be increased. Here, the temperature is an independent variable. Based on the ice cream purchased, we can call it as a dependent variable. Right. Next important point is correlation. There are few correlations. One is called positive correlation. Another one is called negative correlation. What is called positive correlation is as temperature increases, ice cream sales increases is called positive. Next is one variable is increase, another variable decrease, we can call it as negative. Sales of an item might increase as price get decreased. So plus plus minus minus. This is a negative correlation. I will see why you are suddenly talking about correlation. I will explain. Right, this is flip the another scenario. The ice cream sales increases, a temperature increases. The temperatures increases, ice cream increases. Both are in the positive correlation. The next is we can't control the temperature. Temperature is being controlled, not controlled by an ice cream sales. Although the reverse is true. So that's why we can bring it as caution. Caution is the event influences another event. Temperature influences ice cream, but not vice versa. We are not bothering as of now these cautions. We are concentrating only on correlation. Right? There are simple linear regression, multivariate linear regression. As I said, only experience and salary matters. We can call it a simple age, experience, the place which we are working, the designation, the degree which we have, all which called the multivariate linear regression. So this is the one of the simple example. Variation weight over age of a baby. Right, starts baby with 3 kgs. Then it may get increased as the baby gets age by age. So now 3 is called a bias. This linearly increases 0.75 b the slope which we need to compute. This is every month which is getting increased. Now you see how to find a slope. The difference between the 12 to 3. Similarly, 12 minus 0. The difference between y coordinates of both extremes, difference between RLs, you can take this difference. We can call it this is this slope. There are a number of ways. I will explain. I will slowly move into the least square regression. Now we will come to the real world example. Assuming that there is an agriculture product which may be in price at point of sale. I am trying to sell it in a farmer's place. It's 4 rupees. When it reaches the city like Bombay or Chennai, it may reaches to 80 rupees. In between, there are 12, 28, 52. Now for the given data set, we need to predict the price of the product in an intermediate location. For example, intermediate location, in between, there may be something, what should be the price? After city down, if it goes to some other distance location, other country, then what is the price at point of sale? When a data set is used for prediction, it is also called train and test data. I will come. What is the train and test data? You see, at farmer place 1, we are selling in the price of 4, then 12, 28, 52, 80. Right. When we are trying to find a slope, change in y divided by change in x. What is change in y? 80 to 4. 80 to 4 is change in y. Change in x 51. So it comes 74 by 9. So 19. Slope is 19, or gradient. We used to call gradient 19. Then by applying the 19, we are able to find what is the b. So you may get a line equation 19x minus 15. Y equal to 19x minus 15. y equal to 19x minus 15. Then you can apply the x value 1, 5, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, 23, 42, 61. 4, 8, 23, 42, 61. So this is actually it should be in straight line. Now we are getting the form of a curved line. Now we are getting the form of curved line. Now we need to determine whether it is a best line or not. So when can we say the best line? This is the predicted value. This is actual value. There is a gap which we can call it as the residual. So our target to be we need to reduce this. We need to reduce the residual. We need to reduce the residual to make the best linear regression. Right. Next, how we are going to minimize that error. Right. There is another method which is called least square regression. This is also we studied in 12th maths. Can you please see how they computed a slope? Here the slope is computed n into summation of x into y minus summation of x summation of y divided by n into x square minus sigma x square. So this is called least square regression. By using this, we are trying to compute a slope, and then bias, or we can call it as intercept. Then try to calculate. We need to calculate a mean. Then calculate mean for y. Sum we are getting 192. Right. So this is the line equation. If you apply least square regression, 19.2 minus 22.4. Minus 22.4. Now you see the difference. The one is, if you go for the least square regression, we are getting an output like this. If you go for an actual what we did in the first time, we are getting curved, the straight line to be like this. We'll see what is the difference between these two. Here we are not going to use anything. We used 19, that x 398. If you go for a least square regression, we are getting an error of 166.4. So the least square regression method is, that is the reason we are go with the least square regression method. Now I will go to the notebook, then I will explain, when you will get few more ideas. Right, here we are going to take on common housing price prediction. Can you please, I can put it in the chat box, can you please try to work it out? Can you please create a new notebook? Take a new notebook and import these packages. Import these packages. Once you import it, there is a built-in function which is given. Just import Boston dataset. Load Boston. It will automatically load, which may be there in iBook Note Python. Are you able to load it? Then if you just print Boston underscore dataset dot keys, can you please list out what is the result we are getting in the print statement? Can you please list out what is the result we are getting? Boston underscore dataset dot keys. Boston underscore dataset only we are taken from the notebook, IPython notebook. Now I am asking you to find what are the keys. What is the result? Good, sir. Yes, sir. Perfect. So we are getting some dictionary with keys. What are the keys we have? Data, target, feature names, DESR, describe, and then find name. Good. Next, and use a print. Can use a print to describe this. Boston dataset dot describe. So what this code will do? This code will give the description of the entire data set. This code will give the description of the entire data set. Can you please take some time and look into the code? There are crime, CRIM crime, ZN, population of land zoned in Indus, CHAS, NOx, RM, age. These are all the some features. We can call it a we can call it as a column. Can you please find which will act as a target here? Can you please find what is a target in this? Target is dependent variable with respect to all the independent variable. So here, how many columns are there? Can you please find how many columns? We tried it in the last class, sorry, morning session. Can you please check how many number of columns? How many number of columns? Once you put this describe, you are able to see the columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 13 columns, or else you can put boston.dataset.columns, right? Or else boston.dataset.shape. Okay. Right. Now, can you please find, right? Can you please, now we read the data set, then we need to convert into a data frame. How we are going to convert into a data frame is, right, PD is an object for pandas, data frame is a class where we are passing the data set, the columns to be taken, Boston set from features name, Boston get. Can you please check you are able to get, once you're done with, you can just apply Boston dot. What is the result you are getting if you put Boston dot shape? What is the result we are getting if you put Boston dot shape? Okay, this is for, okay, this is first row, sir. This is first row. First row, right? If you put Boston dot dataset shape, you may get like this 506 and 13 shape. I'm asking you to check it out. Boston dot shape. Boston dot shape, which will give how many rows and columns. Good, sir. It will have LST. But the thing is, it is not including a target. So what we are trying to do it is we are trying to include a target MEDV. MEDV is median value of the house, median value of the owner occupied in dollars. So that should be the target. Can you please, this is what we discussed. It's a supervised learning. They are given good ma'am, Anandi ma'am, good ma'am. All right. So can you please include target into the data set also? Boston MEDV Boston dataset dot target. The Boston dot dataset dot target to be moved to Boston data frame. Once you've done, can you please check? The next question is check any null. Once you have loaded, can you please check any null values are there? How to check is any null values are there? I hope if you remembered, you can just use it or else recollect. Right, ma'am. Is null. Can you please check any not a number or any null value to be handled? Is null. What is the result of is null? What is the result of is null dot sum? Lakshmi Magesh ma'am, can you please tell if there is any not a number? Working, sir. Okay. So you need to convert the Boston data set into a Boston data frame. How to do it is, you need to place Boston data pd.data frame Boston data set, which I already posted in the chat. If there is any null values. Suresh Kumar sir. Sir, can you please check if there is any null values? I know it's very tough in the afternoon session, so please try. Okay, fine. Fine, sir. No problem, Prem Kumar sir. Just listen what people are doing, or else I can share. I can share the notebook at the last. Right. So if you put the data frame, if you put the data frame Boston is null.sum, can you please anyone tell what is the result of the Boston dot is null then sum? Right. So what is the conclusion? What is the conclusion we can make? We can make a conclusion. There is no. Okay, no problem, sir. No issues. I am just asking. Sandil Kumar, sir. Good. So from this, what we can conclude, there is no null values. So we no need to bother about all the values are in numerical. We will go for some machine learning model. Before that, as I said, we need to do some plotting to understand, to get a feel of it. Can you please draw this plot? Here the target is the median values, MED. RM is another variable. What is that RM? I forgot. The RM is average number of rooms per dwelling. Dwelling is called house, right? Average number of rooms. I hope if you plot this, we are plotting a scatter plot. Plot dot scatter by considering two values, rooms, then median values. Then you may get a graph like this. Someone drawn the plot. Suresh Kumar sir or that Atal FTP on data science. I don't know who. I think that may be someone faculty. Simandar College. Yes, sir. So what is the observation, Suresh Kumar sir? So it's like a scatter plot which I am showing in the screen. So number of rooms increased. There is a possibility the median value is also getting increased. There are some outlier cases. We no need to bother about that. That also we are going to eliminate by using a box plot that will explain later tomorrow. Right? So outlier. Now there is another important thing. So this is the purpose of a plotting, right? So once you draw a plot, you have understood. Okay, if RM increases, there is a possibility the median value is also getting increased. Can you please draw another map, which is called heat map? Look into an output. Can you please draw a heat map? This heat map we are drawing for correlation matrix. What is called correlation? I already explained. The summer temperature increases, the possibility of a sales of ice cream is also increasing, which is called positive correlation. Right. The temperature decreases, the ice cream sales is also getting decreased. This is also a positive one direction. For example, if the number of cases increases in COVID, right? The people going out is getting reduced. It's called a negative correlation. One is increasing, another one is decreasing. We can call it as negative correlation, right? This heat map will play a major role. I hope you are able to see my screen. Some of the people may drawn. This correlation coefficient ranges from -1 to +1. This correlation coefficient ranges from -1 to +1. If the value is close to 1, it's a strong positive correlation between two variables. When it is close to -1, the variable have a strong negative correlation. Right. So what we can do, sir? So from this, what is our observation? I put one content in the chat box. Can you please read it? To fit a linear regression model, we can select those features which may have high correlation with our target variable. We can look into the correlation matrix. If you see, RM has a strong positive correlation with MEDV with 0.7, whereas LSTAT has high negative correlation with MEDV. Then another important point, you need to check the multiple collinearity. The features have a correlation. The features, can you please check into the next, read the next line? Multicollinearity. The features RAD, TAX have a correlation of 0.91. These features pairs are strongly correlated with each other. We should not select both these features together for training. We need to choose any one. Similarly, there is some negative correlation. DIS and AG both have the same correlation 0.75. You no need to choose both. What it means is the both variable which are associated with the target which will reflect the same. So this will help us to select some of the features. I will repeat again. When you are building a machine learning model, you have to pass all the features. That is one way to do. With blindly, without doing any exploratory analysis, you can just pass all the columns. Only thing you need to check, all the values are numeric. Once you're done with all the values are numeric, then you can just feed it into the model. Definitely that model will give a result. But what is our target is, our target to be, we need to give the model which will give a less number of, which will give a good accuracy, which will give a less error in regression model. In this case, we need to think of it. Why need to use all the features? We can drop some of the features in the sense some of the columns, which may do like a similar to another column. For example, I can say like this: there are student mark list. If he performed in mathematics, assuming that he performed in science also. If math and science, which has positive correlation with same value, then there is no need of use both math and science to evaluate the student. Either you can use only math or a science. That is what they are trying to see. The number of feature is getting reduced, which will improve the performance of the model. Right now we are trying to plot this LSP and RAM. LSP is a negative correlation, right? Can you please try to build a graph for this? LSTAT and RM with respect to median value. RS with respect to median value. For LSTAT, if this is also linear but negative correlation. If you see, look into my screen, the prices increases if RM increases. There are few outliers. The prices tend to decrease with an increase of LASTE. So this is called exactly the linear line. So once you draw this plot, look into the visualization, you are able to understand the price increases, the value of RM increases linearly. The price tend to decrease with the increase of LSTAT. Right now what I am going to consider is out of which is this fine. This we can call it as exploratory analysis. Whatever we have done, we can call it as an exploratory analysis. We checked whether any null value then there is no null value. Then we try to plot, we try to understand the correlation. Then we made it as a heat map. From the heat map, we made some observation. We are not going to choose all the features. We are going to choose only few features. Right. So can you please select the features X? Normally capital X they used to call the dependent variable. Small y they call it as an independent variable. Now we are trying to split into capital X and capital Y. The capital X which consists of all the dependent variable, small y which consists of a target variable or independent variable. Once you've done this, now we are going to see another concept which is called split the data set into train and test. Right? Can anyone tell why do we need to split the data set into train and test? In some of the model or some of any competition or any project, they have give separate data set for train the model and they will give the separate data set for the test the model. Now my question is, we have only one data set. The data set to be divided into two portions. One is for train the model, another one is for use the remaining data to test it out. Is it clear what I'm trying to say? For example, 5 students, 3 student marks we are training, we are able to predict the grade. Similarly, for the test data which is already have some variable of, for example, grade A or grade B. If you pass the test data, it may produce grade A or grade B for a particular student. That may use to validate our model. I hope you may split the data into train and test now. Once you split, you may get the result of like this, because the test sizes we are going to 20% of given data, or normally 3 or something, you can keep it out. So this is another method you learned. Now we have done. We have split it into train and test. After splitting, you need to get an output like this. What is this output, sir? This is for, yes, sir. Good. Someone split it into train and test. Thank you, ma'am. So train, we have test, we have right. Train 104, 102, 404, 102 is split into the number of trains and test. Now we are going to apply the linear regression model. Very simple. Applying a model is very simple. First, import the linear regression from scikit-learn. Scikit-learn or scale. Normally they call it a scikit-learn. Scikit-learn.linear_model. Import linear regression. Then this is for metrics. Scikit-learn metrics, import mean square error. Two column, madam. 404 row, 2 columns. Satya, ma'am. 404, 2 columns. We have chosen LS, TAT and RM, right? Okay. This why which has only one column, because why we have split it as a target. Why you see why it has only row, column is an empty, because this is very important. Whenever you are applying a machine learning model, finally you need to check by using the shape. The shape, it doesn't match, it won't work. All right. So can you please apply the linear regression model by putting this code? Model.fit. You see, we are creating a model. The model will do explicitly. We are passing X train and Y train to model and fit the model. Then once we done the model, we need to predict. For which data we need to predict? Can you please tell someone for which data I need to predict in the fill in the blanks? We created a model, we fit the model. Now we need to predict with respect to which data? The train, X train and Y train, we have done. All right. So in that model.predict, we need to pass X_test. In model.predict, good, madam. We need to pass X_test, because we already splitted that data into train and test. The test data which are all there, X_test. So in prediction, in prediction, can you please pass X underscore test? And if you try to print the prediction, it will give the predicted result of those two data, which those are all the data which we have splitted. So those can, once you're done with the predictions, then we go for a plot. So if you're done up to this prediction, which means you completed your first ML, your first machine learning model. So this is the first machine learning model, which then you can try to do some other data to test it out. So there are n number of data sets which are available in Gaggle or Analytics Vidya. You can try to explore and try to do it. Next, after this, there is a very important term which is called metrics. What is this metrics is? The metrics which helps us to find, which helps us to tell whether our model is working perfectly or not. Right. So there are there are three metrics are being mainly used: mean absolute error, mean square error, root mean square error. This explanation which I given in PPT, once again, I'm just opening the presentation. This is called mean square error. So what is mean square error is? What is mean square error is actual value. The actual value which you consider in y-test. Actual value which you consider in y-test. The predicted value. What are the value which is predicted by our model? I can call it as y cap. So actual minus predicted whole square by n. So this is called mean square error. The next is root mean square. What is the root mean square error? The forecasted or observed, then the root you need to apply. This is called root mean square error. This is the root mean square error, the explanation. Next one is R square. R square, I will go to the, this is the formula which is used to find an R square. What is R square is yi, the data, y cap is predicted value, y cap is predicted value, this yi is actual data, this is mean value, this is mean value. If you apply this formula, if you compute R square, if the R square is closer to 1, the better the model is. You understand what is the purpose of R square? The R square is if closer to 1, the model which is better. So that is the reason we use as an R square. The R square is also called coefficient of determination. So the other things, I will put some example PPTs also here. Straight away, I'm going to share this PPT to you. Just look into this PPT of linear regression. Once again, I can upload. I can share the PPT after this class gets over. Next is right. Next, there are some drawbacks I try to explain. Right. Next, there are some drawbacks I am trying to explain with respect to linear regression. Right? Can you please think of this? Child age. If it's in 0th month, head size. Definitely, if a newborn baby, the head size may be some 3 circumference or whatever may be. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here you can consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first 3, it starts with 3. It may gradually it increases, right? So this is the straight line. There is a possibility I can extend the line here itself. will have any meaning? Will it have any meaning to extend this line? Is there is any possibility of the child age become a negative? No, this is not possible. This is not possible. So linear regression fails. The reason is for these quantitative values, we are trying to predict the values in this area. This is one case, the linear regression fails. I hope you understand what I am trying to say. The child age is being negative. You should not have, definitely there should not be a no negative age. So this linear regression fails. Now, I will explain another scenario. For example, we have our credit score, or we can call it as what the score, CIBIL score, right? They normally CIBIL score. CIBIL score. Some bank score they may ask, right? I don't know exact spelling. Right, bank score if it's 700, 620, 380, 480 like this, whether loan will be sanctioned. Loan will be sanctioned or not. If it is a zero, not sanctioned, one is a sanction. For example, above 600, assuming that it's been sanctioned. Assuming that CIBIL score. CIBIL, spelling exact, right? So if you draw the scatter plot for this, if you draw the scatter plot for this, this is the score. Or else we can take pass fail. Pass fail is a simple pass, fail, fail. Right? Score is 100, 200, 300, fail. Right? So there are two categories. One is pass, fail. Another one is pass. When you try to draw a plot, you may get a plot like this. You may get a plot like this. So when you try to draw a straight line, then there is a lot of residuals between these two numbers. You see, we can't fit the straight line by moving up or moving down. So our target to be, we need to construct a line. Which covers this, as well as this, or else we need to traverse the line like this, which traverse across, which means you need to draw a line this, which reduces this. So in these cases also, the linear regression fails. The linear regression does not give any kind of this kind of classification problem, or else I can say categorical data. Only two variable category, pass or fail. So we go for another technique which is called logistic regression. You understand what is the purpose we go for a logistic regression? This won't work it out. This kind of thing which won't work it out when you have a classification, a class which belongs to bird or not, which belongs to animal or not. In this case, it may not. It may predict, but the errors may be wrong. Errors may be huge, so that model won't help us. So we go for another model which is called logistic regression. Now I am trying to explain what is called logistic regression. Right. So this is the same example. The same one I am trying to explain. The first time I am a home buyer. You want to buy a score which is 300 to 80. Turnout score to be 720. Your credit score when deciding to approve or not approve by mortgage. Right. So we are doing the 1000 application. We got the credit score. Our target to be, we need to check whether yes or no to be a results. So yes or no, it not possible in linear regression. Then we go for another method which we can call it as a logistic regression. Right. So first time what we need to do is we need to develop a model. That will provide a probability. So here it comes the concept called probability. In using this probability, we are going to say the probability of 50%, whether it may be approved or not. If your input score is 720, whether you are able to, your mortgage is been approved or not, that is we are going to determine. We'll see how we are going to do it. Assuming that 1000 data, I am going to consider only these 15 records as of now. Approved is 1, non-approved is 0. If you draw a scatter plot, this is what I am trying to explain. If you draw a scatter plot, it comes like this. If you draw a straight line, there is no best fit. There is no best fit line. There may be a huge error if you consider a linear regression. Then we go for a thing, something called logistic regression. So we need to model the probability of event occurring. Then you have to estimate the probability. Then you have to predict based on the estimation. After the predict, we need to classify. So we need the model which will give the probability of the event occur. Then you need to estimate, then predict, then classify. Right. So we are going to give a credit score. In the black box, it is going to give approved and not approved. We'll see what is happening inside this model. We'll see what is happening inside this model. Right. Why other regression model fail? As I said, simple linear regression is one quantitative variable predicting for another, not qualitative. Right. So multiple linear regression is also more dependent variable. Non-linear regression also same thing. So we go for an other technique, which is called logistic regression. Right. Now before we are going look into the problem, we are going to see some probability basics. Right. P is probability of outcome of interest, all possible outcome. Head a coin 1/2, roll a fair die 1/3, displaying a card of diamond 13/52. This is very simple. Next is odds. I will slowly get into, I am trying to move from the linear to logistic regression. Please listen carefully. Now is odds. What is odds is the probability of occurring and the probability of not occurring. Right? That is, we can call it as P divided by 1/P. Right. Now odds equal to heads. What is the odds for heads? 0.5, 0.5, 1:1. Fair die roll 1 or 2, 1/2. Displaying a card 0.755, 0.25. Probability divided by 1 minus probability. So this is the ratio. Next, odds ratio. The odds ratio is exactly the ratio of two odds. Odds ratio is odds 1 by odds 0. Right? So this is odds ratio between two odds. For example, 0.73 by 0.3 divided by 0.5 divided by 0.1. 2.33 odds ratio between these two. Yes, sir. Suddenly sir moved into some people are still confusing or some of them may not followed. I will give a small insight what is happening. Now we have assuming that now we have a straight line. Now we have a straight line. What I am trying to do is I am trying to convert this straight line into a sigmoid curve. Straight line into this straight line into, we have a straight line. I said there are issues with straight line. The straight line is being converted into a sigmoid curve. We'll see how we are going to convert that straight line into a sigmoid curve. If you convert the straight line into sigmoid curve, we'll see how this is being done. So straight line equation is y equal to mx plus c. This to be equated to this curve. For getting this curve, we need to have odds. We need to have odds ratio. You see, the logarithmic of odds is p divided by 1 minus p. This we can call logic function. What is logic function? If the curve is in this form, we can call it as the logic function. You see, the logic function to be like this. This curve. If you give some value, you may get then our output like this. For example, 0.5 divided by 1 divided by 0.5, it may fit into some value in the curve. This is logic curve. This logic curve in between to be converted. If it is 0.5, it should become a 1. So we are trying to move the logic curve. The logit of P is the logarithmic or odds ratio is probability P divided by 1 by P. Right. So once you made it as ulta or reverse, the logic curve becomes from the row wise into a column wise. Right. So this can don't get worried. All this, can you please look into this? What is this is? What is this is? The odds ratio. Odds ratio. MXC. This is straight line equation. This is straight line equation. This is odds ratio. Then you can take P minus 1 by P. We are equating. If you take an anti-log, it become like this. It become like this. Why we used as a log is because we are trying to make a probability model. The probability model which ranges from 0 to 1. Why we are going to make a probabilistic model? Because here our target is either 0 or 1. Depends on the probability range. Depends on the probability range. We need to pick whether it belongs to 1, which belongs to 1, or it belongs to 0. 0 or 1, vice versa. Now, that is the reason we applied logistic function. Then we need to take an anti-log. The reason for taking an anti-log is initially the curve should be like this. Initially, the curve should be like this. We need to ulta it. That is what given in this screen. Initially, the curve should be like this. We need to reverse, or we need to take it as what can I say? X-axis to Y-axis. We need to change the axis. So it becomes like this. Then if you try to solve this problem, if you try to solve this equation, you will get P cap. What is the P cap is? What is P cap is? P cap is the estimated probability. P cap is the estimated probability. P0 is the bias, which variable which we computed. P1 is the intercept, or we can call it as slope that to be applied. Once you applied, you will get the probability. We'll see. For example, one example. This is the credit score for 15 employees. Then approved values are there. Right? If you use normal linear regression, we are getting the coefficient, or I can call it as slope as minus 9.346. This is called, sorry, this is bias. This is bias. This is called slope. This is bias and slope. Either you can use Excel sheet or manually what you have done in the previous time. You need to compute it. Then that can be applied it here. E power minus 9.36 plus this value divided by this. So this is the estimated regression equation. What we are going to do by using this equation? What we are going to do by using this equation is, now you said the credit score value is 720. Apply the 720 here. Let me find what is the probability. You see, 720. If you apply 720, 3.5, 3.25, 0.78. This is probability to get the particular person to approve a loan is 0.7 if he has a score as 720. Then odds ratio. How to find an odds ratio? Probability divided by 1 minus probability. 3.289. I will explain where this 3.289 plays a major role. Now you see, this is for score 720, 3.289. This is for score 71, 3.337. Odds, if I take ratio between these two, the odds ratio between these two, I am getting 1.0146. 1.0146. What it means is this is odds ratio, right? What it means is, if we have a score 90, 655 to 745, 90 is there. 600 to 600 is 90. You see, the odds ratio remains the same, which means there is the 73% of chance you may get a loan. If this is 73%, if you look into an odds ratio of 1, there is a possibility into 100. There is a 1% of increasing a chance. 1.4% of odds ratio is getting increased you may get a loan from the bank if your score getting increased by 1. Similarly, you see, once you find the odds ratio between two numbers, if it is a 90, if wherever you find two numbers, if the difference is 90, the odds ratio remains the same, right? So where this all can be used, all right? So this is what if odds ratios difference is 10, this difference is 20, 33, difference is 30, there is a possibility of 55 percentage you may get into a loan. Right. This is what if there is an increase in 100, there is an increase in 30, 332 percentage of odds ratio, you may get as a loan. Right. So what all this there? So when you go for a bank, when you go for a bank, if you have a credit score, then they may put it into this model, then they will check whether you may get a loan or not. So this can be done in the background of applying all these rules. I will quickly tell what happened in this is we have a straight line equation y equal to mx plus c. This is straight line equation. Then you need to equate this one with respect to sigmoid function or logit function. So when you want to equate this into the sigmoid function, there they consider log of odds ratio 1 by 1 minus probability 1 minus p. Then this they are trying to equate into mx plus c. Then if you take a logarithmic p divided by 1 minus p into e power mx plus c, right? Then p you try to equate, we may get p cap is equal to that expected linear regression. What is given in this equation? What is given in this equation? E power that bias plus slope into that x 1 plus e power. So this is the mathematics which begins in the logistic regression. The linear regression fails in some cases because it has a straight line. Some of the data set may not match in the straight line. We need to form a curved line. The curved line which we are going to construct is a sigmoid curve. The sigmoid curve is represented by using a odds ratio. So how to define an odds ratio? Probability divided by 1 minus p. You need to apply the logarithmic to the odds ratio because then only it ranges from 0 to 1. 0 to 1. That should be equated to the straight line. If it is equated to the straight line, then the entire straight line is being converted into a sigmoid curve. We'll see how this can be done by using a program. We'll see how this can be done by using a programming way. So can you please when to use a which metric, ma'am, what you need to do is you need to apply all the metrics, try to find which model which has a least number, we can use that metrics. So the using a metric to analyze also it depends on what can I say? If it has some variance, if it is a robust in variance, you should go with root mean square and mean square error. If it is less in variance, then you can go with other map and other MAE and other metrics. Now you can try to implement the logistic regression. Upload the file. Can you please upload the file? And I am sharing that SUV prediction file also to you people. I'm going to share that SUV files also to you. Just I am just trying to share that file. Just please use this file. Just download in your local drive and upload the file in your folder. Sorry, in your collab. Once you upload it, you can just read it. Once you upload it, you can read the file. Then, then you can take the data set X and Y. I hope you guys splitted, taken the data set. Taken the data set. Please make sure that it contains like this: user ID, gender, age, user ID, gender, age. Once you're done with this, we need to split the test and train data set. We need to split the test and train the data set by applying train underscore test underscore split. Here, what I try to do it is sum of the data, age and estimated salary is different. Its ranges are different. So what we try to do is we apply standard scalar. If you're not applying a standard scalar, your model may have a large error. Now that error is getting reduced. If you apply standard scalar, the error may get reduced. This logistic regression will do only the classification with respect to zeros and ones or any classification. So it's a classifier. It's not like a regression which may help us to predict the values. It's new, you may get some data. So now we have to include the model. How to include the model is import from scikit-learn linear model logistic regression. The logistic regression classifier.fit. You need to do it. Can you please find a model or display a model like what I have shown in the screen, logistic regression? Once you have done this, you need to apply the model to predict the value. Once you have done this, you need to apply the model to predict. So Y prediction with respect to that X test. Once you have done with this, once you have done this, you need to find an accuracy. So accuracy is one kind of metrics which is used to say how many number of positives is been identified by as a positive perfect or negative, whatever may be. This is called an accuracy score. Input accuracy, you need to pass the white test. The white test is the data which we have taken originally from the training data. White prediction is the model, what our model is getting predicted. Right. So if you want to try it out, you can just try it out in our classifier, passing some value, You can just pass it. You can just pass it. I think we may get an accuracy of 89%. We may get an accuracy of 89%. That may be changed accordingly if you alter the frame. If you alter the features, if you alter the data set, there is a possibility that accuracy may get improved. Right. So can you please give a try on this? How it is being predicted. Right? This classifier.predict. I am trying to do some random number 12 and 2. Can you please check it out? What is the result you are getting? X mu and Y. So there is another thing which is called confusion matrix. I think there is a separate session for the performance analysis of a classification. What is this confusion matrix will give is the matrix which will give true positive, false negative, true negative. This will be played very major role in the classification, performance analysis of a classification. There is a difference between the performance analyzer with respect to regression and the classifier. If it is regression, we go for an R square. If we have a classification, we go for a confusion table. From there, you can use anything. For example, accuracy, F1 score, recall, precision. Those things can be applied if you are doing any classification problem. So what I am trying to do it is I am trying to upload the entire folder as well as these two notebooks to you people. Whenever you have a time, please just go through the link. You will get an idea. One of the madam is asked, sir, when can we use which one? I just show it to my viewers. This is for logistic regression. This is for logistic regression. I can share another collab. So you can just view the code and taken the code and try to execute the same. By the time the PPTs, there are linear and then logistic regression PPTs. I uploaded into the PPTs into the share drive. Now I can put it on and check it. What are all the files and Excel sheet I discussed? I kept it inside the folder. There are n number of uh, This is the folder link. Yes, ma'am. Predicted is 0. Okay, good. This is the folder link which where I have what are the PPTs. Satya ma'am, you asked one question, right? That to be link is asking folder is okay. I can alter the settings. Or else I can download. I can once again. I can share this. Anyone can link and view. I am sharing the Colab once again. Colab logistic regression. This is for Suresh Kumar sir. Now you can check. Now you are able to edit and access the code. It seems right. So yes, okay, sir. Thank you. So this is what I promised to Saravanan sir. The code is getting open. Thank you. So this is what I promised to Saravanan sir. This is a small overview. This linear regression alone, which requires 5 hours to discuss. 5 hours to discuss to do. So 5 hours to discuss. Time constraint and then strict deadline to complete or the plan. So we are done with this. So PPTs there in that Google Drive, ma'am. I put that on Drive, right? So PPTs and that CSV files are kept it in that same drive. So what is PPT in a drive? So what is my kind request is, uh, as I told, there are two things. One is Kaggle and Analytics Vidya. But both will play a major role if you are home for data science. Even if you type a Kaggle.com, it will say it's a home for your data science. Then Analytics Vidya. Actually, whenever free time, I used to attempt this hackathons. I have done few things, but it's very tough to crack. We need to sit together. You see, I got 49 points in that. Uh, it's very tough. After 2019, I'm not able to find a time to attempt. So whenever you have free time, you just try this hackathon, or if you want to do it as a team, can you please try to look into this hackathon? So these two things, Gaggle and Analytics Vidya. Probability function. Suddenly I'm not able to remember, ma'am. It should be some model. It says the probability.
Excuse me.
Ma'am, I understand your question. How to get the probability of the particular data you are asking, right?
Yes, sir.
So, ma'am, suddenly it is not coming in to my mind. I will reply back to you. Can you please? I can reply back to you. Can you please share your mail ID
Yes,
and
sir.
share the link?
Yes.
Or else I created on Google Drive. Actually,
Sir,
some
you
of the
please share your mail ID, sir, so that
I will do. I will do.
we
I will do.
can.
So, once again, we'll find it out. A few more minutes, we'll find it out how to print display the probability. I think predict probability நினைக்கிறேன். Can you please just check it out? There is a method called predict probability. This link, so much of details. They have done step by step in the logistic regression. They done up to ROC curve up to now. Can you please just read when you have free time? This example is very nice. They nicely build the logistic regression model. Right, so I can share my mobile number 9884814. So whenever you are free, just so whenever you have any query, you can just WhatsApp or mail or in LinkedIn chat. You can just drop a message. Definitely, I will reply to you. Right. So thanks for your listening. I think ma'am is there. I think sir said he has some other work.
Sir,
Sir is there. Sir, Saravanan sir.
sir, I will be there.
Oh, sir is there.
So, sir, now it is audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am able to hear you, sir.
Sir, very nice presentation, sir.
Actually, it's require a lot of time, but thank you, sir. Thanks for inviting me, Saravanan sir, and get out the department, and as well as the management. I'm not able. Principal sir for Erode Sengundar College of Engineering, and I need to thank our dean, Dr. Rajesh Kannan sir, VIT Chennai, and my friends. Right.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for
Thank you.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you all. I put my chat. Sorry, what can I say? My mail ID and everything in the link. So whenever you required any help, can you please contact me at any time? So this will come always be in a presentation, always be a practice. So keep on practicing, then only you may achieve a perfect goal in this. Even I missed the touch. My touch has been missed after left from Amrit the past 3 months work from home, new environment at VIT. I don't have a time. I don't have a time to sit back and work. So thanks to Saravanan sir to make me to get refreshed.
Sir,
There
thank
may
you, sir.
be. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So can I leave, sir?
Sir, okay, sir.
Oh, fine, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
All the
Thank you.
best. Do well. Oh, so stay safe.